It's really a pleasure to have you here. And as I said, the winter might be cold, but we have warm hearts. Estonia's support to Ukraine is unwavering. We believe in Ukraine's victory. We believe in Ukraine, which is a country with a liberal democracy and a free market economy, and which will become a member of the European Union as well as NATO. In December 2024, we made a historic decision in the European Union to open accession negotiations with Ukraine. I've been a strong advocate for Ukraine at the European Council table. Now that Ukraine has met all the criteria, we need to start the accession talks as soon as possible. Estonia is also ready to help Ukraine with our European Union joining experience and share our knowledge on this way. I also want to reaffirm that Estonia's support to Ukraine on your path towards NATO membership remains steadfast. Since the beginning of Russia's full-scale war of aggression, we have been witnessing Ukraine's bravery and resilience every day more than 2 years already. For Ukraine's victory, our support for Ukraine must continue. We must continue to support Ukraine for as long as necessary, and equally important in the extent that is necessary. We must act now. We have no time to waste. The security of the free world is at stake. And this outcome of the war is essential for Ukraine, but also for the whole Europe and transatlantic security. We need to be brutally honest with ourselves, and we have to do more. Long-term commitments are important, but it's also the fact of war that the one who has more ammunition will win. The free world must act immediately to provide Ukraine with the necessary weapons and ammunition. Ukraine needs urgent and swift deliveries and increased support. Estonia has recently given another military aid package of 20 million euros to Ukraine, which includes ammunition. This takes our support to Ukraine already this year alone to over 100 million euros, which is 0.25 of our GDP, just like we have promised. I keep raising this with our allies and partners. If everybody committed at least 0.25% of their GDP to Ukraine's military assistance in the coming years, we would outweigh Russia. Estonia has also taken a long-term commitment to help to build up your country and give humanitarian assistance. We will continue with the reconstruction and in the education and social spheres with the focus on Zhytomyr region. Just recently, we opened our first honorary consulate there to contribute even more. And also pleased to see that there is a great interest in the Estonian companies to contribute to Ukraine's reconstruction. We lead the way in showing the others that reconstruction can already start when the war is still going on, and that reconstruction can go hand in hand with the digital cooperation. Russian aggression has shown how cyber attacks are now fully integrated into conventional warfare. Estonia will continue to help increase Ukraine's resilience in cyber domain, both in military and civilian sector. We still need to isolate Russia and continue with sanctions. Russia must also compensate the damage caused to Ukraine. I'm glad to see that European Union, we are moving forward with the proposal to use the profits from those freezed or immobilized assets. But it's only the first step. It is crucial to find a way to start using these assets as well, because it's not for our taxpayers to compensate what our countries haven't caused. The damage are caused by Russia. And we also need accountability. A special tribunal for the crime of aggression against Ukraine with the broadest cross-regional support and legitimacy must be established. Also, hopes for a quick win are traps that we must not fall into. Russia would only use this to gather its strength to attack even more fiercely. We all want to live in peace. I don't know one single person in Ukraine who is for war, but we want this war to be this peace to be sustainable. Estonia supports and actively participates in President Zelensky's peace plan, which focuses on the territorial integrity and justice for Ukraine. So there's a lot of work still to be done, and I'm really happy that we have the chance to discuss today, and I'm really happy that I have the chance to welcome you here in Estonia. Dear Denis, thank you.
Thank you. And now please, Prime Minister Šmигаля.
Thank you very much. Dear Madam Prime Minister, dear Kaya, dear ladies and gentlemen, I am sincerely grateful for the invitation of my real friend, Kаллас, to visit Tallinn. It is my first official visit here, and it's a great pleasure and honor for me to have this negotiation, this very fruitful conversation with friends. Ukraine greatly values the close cooperation and friendship between our countries. Like the recent visit of President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, my visit to Estonia is first and foremost a visit of gratitude to your nation, to your people, to your country, to your government. Gratitude for the comprehensive support and assistance to our country in the fight against the Russian aggression. Today, Estonia is one of the leading donors of defense and humanitarian aid to Ukraine per capita. To date, Ukraine has received more than 520 million euros in defense assistance, which is about 1.4% of Estonia's GDP. We are grateful for the recent 18th military assistance package, which included urgently needs 155mm artillery shells. We particularly appreciate that Estonia's support is becoming a long-term commitment. The Estonian government has developed the strategy for Ukraine's victory, which foresees annual defense assistance to Ukraine of 0.25% of GDP for the next 4 years. I'm also grateful to Estonia for other initiatives to strengthen Ukraine's defense. First of all, it is about the creation of an IT coalition led by Estonia. This is a fairly new format of our cooperation where we already have more than 10 participants. IT coalition is about cooperation in data processing, communications, IT infrastructure, and cybersecurity. All this is necessary for the security and defense forces of Ukraine to increase the effectiveness of their interaction and to better fight our enemy. Thanks to Estonian leadership, the artillery coalition was created, which gave impetus to joint direct procurement of weapons and ammunition for the armed forces of Ukraine at the EU level. The Tallinn mechanism for cyber support to Ukraine has been established, which is particularly important in the context of the growing number of Russian cyber attacks. Ukraine has also joined the NATO Cooperative Cyber Defense Center of Excellence in Tallinn. Indeed, it is crucial for us to have an advantage over the enemy in the field of modern technologies. I would also like to thank the Estonian side for its active practical support for President Volodymyr Zelensky's peace formula. Recently, Estonia agreed to co-lead points 5 of the formula, implementation of the UN Charter and restoration of Ukraine's territorial integrity. This is a very important support for us. Another track on which Estonia plays a leading role is Ukraine's Euro-Atlantic integration. Our Estonian friends are well aware of the connection between Ukraine's security and Estonia's security. Because of the Russian imperialism, this connection is inseparable. As for our European integration, we expect to start negotiations on our accession to the EU in the coming months. I am confident that Estonia is our reliable partner in this matter. We also count on Estonia's support in regard with the decision to continue autonomous trade liberalization measures. Duty-free trade will benefit not only Ukrainian but also European companies, which export goods and services to Ukraine, which are worth tens of billions of dollars. Another strategic objective is the further development of transport logistics. In particular, we see great potential in Ukraine's participations in the Rail Baltica logistics project. This will open up new opportunities for our export and create another pillar for the Ukrainian economy and our mutual benefits and economies. Today, we also discussed in detail the mechanism for compensating Ukraine for the damage caused by Russia. There is no doubt that the damage should be compensated from the frozen Russian assets. Estonia has already finalized a compensation mechanism that will allow us to use Russian funds for Ukraine's needs. We look forward to its final approval. We also expect other European countries and the EU as a whole to approve such a mechanism where frozen Russian funds work for the victory and restoration of our country. Another important issue is sanctions. We need to restrict Russia's access to all modern technologies, cut off the funds that finance the war, and tighten controls on weapons, their components, and dual-use goods. It is also time to sanction agricultural products from Russia and Belarus. This is a fundamental issue for both Ukraine and the EU. Last but not least, Estonia is becoming one of our key partners in Ukraine's recovery. Your country was the first to take patronage on a separate region of Ukraine, the Zhytomyr region, and we can already see the results: a kindergarten in Ovruch, a bridge in Malin, and other facilities that have been rebuilt. Thank you for this, and we really appreciate this. Such projects create the conditions for Ukrainians to return home and set an example for the other to follow. Dear Kaya, Prime Minister, dear colleagues, journalists, today Ukraine and Estonia have an extraordinary partnership. We have prospects in many different areas. There are many joint projects. But most importantly, we have a common vision of the future and a common main task: to stop the Putin's regime, defeat the Russian aggressor, and establish a just peace in Europe. I am confident that together we will achieve this goal. We will achieve our mutual win, our mutual victory. Thank you so much, my dear friend. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you. And now it's time for questions. If you ask, please say your name, state your media outlet, and also say to whom the question is directed.
Thank you. Tarmo Maiberg, Public Broadcasting. Two questions to Prime Minister of Ukraine. Let's start with